American presidents were people like you and like me, or at least that's how the founders intended them to be. Hi, my name is Teddy Abbey. Welcome back to my recurring segment where we're talking about the nicknames of the US presidents from the past. Last time we talked about the positive and negative nicknames of President number 13, Millard Fillmore. Fillmore was the second US president to have ascended from the vice presidency after his predecessor died. But you might remember me from a previous episode saying that the US during this time was waffling back and forth between politician presidents and war presidents, presidents who had served in the military in some capacity. Well, that was true with Fillmore and Pierce. We went right from Fillmore, who was a career politician and professional compromiser, to Pierce, who was a brigadier general in the US military. So when we're looking at his nicknames, we can see that his positive ones came more from those strengths as opposed to objective political success.
As a military man, you ought to know that.
Without any further ado, we can move right on into positive nickname number 1, where he was called Handsome Frank. Popular press and campaign culture in the 1840s and 50s had changed pretty significantly, and Pierce was conventionally attractive for his time. Campaign operatives and reporters alike used this nickname to showcase his genteel urban nature. They used it to make him seem approachable, and this was increasingly important in an era where image and personality were gaining increasing importance in political elections.
Did they have brains or knowledge? Don't make me laugh. They were popular.
And after 3 years of Fillmore, the public was clamoring for a commander-in-chief that was well-respected and they felt they could relate to. And Polk's wit, looks, and charm smoothed over the political weaknesses that had been left to him by the Fillmore administration, at least during the beginning of his presidency. Moving on to positive nickname number 2, he was also the second US president to be called the Dark Horse President. During the 1852 Democratic National Convention, where the party had gotten together to try and decide who they were going to put forth to run for president, there was a series of failed votes where the individuals that everybody thought were going to be the nominees failed to secure any sort of significant lead. This is where Pierce emerged as a compromise candidate, and he wasn't thought of at first, hence Dark Horse.
It was getting so acrimonious, we decided to pick a compromise candidate at random from the newspaper.
Just like the first Dark Horse president, James K. Polk, Pierce was really a nobody before this election. He didn't have much political experience to speak of and ran on a lot of military clout. But even though he had a shaky political base and not much history, he functioned as this kind of glue to hold the Democratic Party together as it was reeling from some serious sectarian violence.
This is what they mean when they call it bloody Kansas.
As a dark horse compromiser, he had this air of neutrality about him that clinched him the nomination and then finally the general election and the White House that came with it. Speaking of that military clout, he was often referred to as the soldier president or the war veteran president. Pierce served as a brigadier general in the Mexican-American War like several presidents before him. Allied newspapers seized on this to get veterans on his side.
We'll follow the old man wherever he wants to go.
You see, in the politics of the 1850s, battlefield experience gave you immediate credibility and patriotic legitimacy. But relying on that military legitimacy can be a double-edged sword for any politician. Pierce's military record was somewhat bland, and in no way would that experience give him the tools that he would need to handle the issue of slavery that would come to define his presidency. All in all, these positive nicknames point to an image built from compromise, charm, and military experience. But those traits alone would not be enough to keep him from making enemies who would make up negative nicknames about him. Once again, my name's Teddy Abbey. These have been the 3 most popular positive nicknames of President number 14, Franklin Pierce. Join me next time when we talk about his 3 most popular negative nicknames.